Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a big one, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, comparing the original book to the film adaptation. Our mission, really, is to dig into how this incredibly loved book transitioned to the screen. We'll look at, what worked, what got changed, and what that tells us about storytelling in different formats.
Exactly. We've poured over both, plus reviews and commentary, to really get under the hood of this adaptation. And, right off the bat, the openings are strikingly different.
Yeah, they really are. The book sort of eases you in with Vernon Dursley's really weird day, right? It's all hints of magic from a completely muggle perspective.
Right. It builds that slow burn, that sense of something strange encroaching. But the movie, it just, bam, drops you right onto Privet Drive with Dumbledore, McGonagall, Hagrid, full magic from the get-go.
So what does that signal, you think, for the viewer versus the reader?
Well, I think film often needs that immediate visual punch. It has less time to build atmosphere the way a book can. The movie grabs you visually, while the book pulls you in with mounting curiosity and unease. It really sets the tone differently.
That makes sense. Okay, let's talk characters, how we first meet them. Harry and Draco, for instance. Book meeting is at Madame Malkin's, right? Instant animosity established.
Yeah, that's key. You get Draco snobbery right away. The movie, though, pushes that first real interaction to the Hogwarts Express.
Why do that? Pacing.
Probably. It streamlines things, keeps the action moving towards Hogwarts. But you do lose something. The book uses that train journey to give you so much more of the Weasley family dynamic.
Yeah.
You really get a feel for them.
That early bonding.
Exactly. The film, has to condense.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Omissions. There are quite a few notable ones.
Oh, yeah. Peeves the poltergeist is completely gone in the movie.
And that's a big one for the atmosphere. He brings this chaotic energy, this sort of very British boarding school ghost vibe to Hogwarts. You lose that layer.
Totally. And the other ghosts, too, Nearly Headless Nick and the others, they feel less present in the film.
Their roles are definitely reduced. It streamlines the plot, maybe, but diminishes the richness of the world building, Even Neville's role changes early on. The whole midnight duel leading to finding Fluffy is different.
Right. And the mirror of Arised. In the book, Harry sees his extended family, aunts, uncles, grandparents. It's this huge wave of longing. The movie just shows his parents.
Which is powerful, absolutely. But the book version underlines his deep desire for any family connection, not just his parents. It's a subtle but important difference in emphasis.
And Snape's potions puzzle, that's completely cut from the climax in the movie.
Yeah, and that's a shame because it's such a great Hermione moment, right? It shows her brilliance under pressure, using logic, not just spells. The movie makes the journey to the stone feel a bit less intellectually challenging, maybe?
Less varied, for sure. But the movie adds things, too, visually memorable things, like Harry drawing that birthday cake in the dirt.
Oh, that's a brilliant addition. It says so much about his loneliness in just one image. Pure visual storytelling.
And Dudley falling into the snake enclosure at the zoo. That's pure movie comedy.
Right. A quick visual payoff for his bullying. The film also shows McGonagall's cat transformation early on, gives Seamus Finnegan those comically explosive spell attempts, visual gags.
Even Hagrid playing Hedwig's theme on the flute, a nice touch.
Little moments that add charm.
Yeah.
Specifically for the screen.
Yeah.
Now, a big change. Quirrell's death.
Okay, yeah. Book. Voldemort leaving Quirrell's body essentially kills him. Movie. Harry's touch causes Quirrell to crumble into dust. Very different vibe.
Very different. The book emphasizes Voldemort's parasitic nature and ultimate ruthlessness. Quirrell is just a disposable vessel. The movie makes it about Harry's inherent goodness, the protective magic from his mother's sacrifice being physically destructive to Voldemort. Quirrell. It's more visually dramatic, perhaps.
Definitely more visually direct. It also centers Harry's power. What about the characters themselves? Little things, like Harry's eyes being blue in the film, not green like the book says.
Yeah, the classic eyes like his mother's detail. That was likely a practical choice. Daniel Radcliffe's natural eye color and maybe contacts were an issue. But for diehard fans, those details matter. It affects the mental image.
And there's the ongoing discussion about Ron's portrayal. Some feel he's, slightly diminished in the films, maybe less sharp. Some key brave moments given to Hermione.
That's a very common point, yeah. He can come across more as comic relief sometimes in the movies, whereas book Ron has real moments of strategic thinking and bravery early on. And conversely, movie Hermione sometimes loses a bit of her relatable insecurity and bossiness from the book. She feels a bit more polished.
Interesting. And Dumbledore, of course. The shift from Richard Harris's very gentle, twinkling portrayal to Michael Gambon's more energetic, perhaps more forceful take later on.
That's a huge shift, driven by necessity, of course. But it significantly colors how you perceive the character. Casting and performance are so crucial in adaptation. It shows how interpretation really shapes the final product.
Even iconic scenes get tweaked, don't they? Like the zoo scene we mentioned, or how they discover Fluffy, and the obstacles to the stone no troll, no potions riddle in the movie's climax.
Right, the journey is simplified, again, likely for pacing and visual focus. It makes you realize how many choices go into translating dense narrative into a 2.5-hour film.
So looking back, adapting Philosopher's Stone, it seems like a massive challenge. Condensing the plot, visualizing magic, managing huge fan expectations.
Absolutely huge. Casting those kids was lightning in a bottle. Building that world visually, it was a monumental task. And yet, the movie was incredibly successful, critically and commercially.
Which tells you they got something fundamentally right, didn't they? Even with the changes.
They captured the feeling, the wonder, the core relationships. They made it accessible, which brings up the target audience.
Yeah, the book had a wide range, but the movie felt aimed squarely at a big family audience, right?
I think so. Some of the omissions, the heightened visual moments, the slightly simplified climax, it all points towards making it work for the broadest possible audience, especially younger viewers initially.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, it's clear the book and movie are distinct experiences. Neither is necessarily better. They just prioritize different things, you know?
Exactly. It's subjective. But comparing them really makes you think, doesn't it? What elements are truly essential to a story's core when you move it between mediums? And why do specific details from a book resonate so strongly, even years later? And fascinating stuff about how stories work on us.